All right, so what we've got what we've got here, this is the strategy to play DDO with greatly diminished lag, like limiting or protecting yourself from lag on the server. It's keyed around this /loc LOC command that I have here. And what that does in the game is if we type it in, I'm actually going to have to move my camera so you guys can see. But if I do, and you can do this in your game as well, right? So what that does, when you do that command, it's going to tell you what server you're on. And then it's going to give you a bunch of information, data, and it's going to give you a timestamp. For our purposes, for combating lag when we play DDO, and this is extremely important if you're doing hardcore, we don't care about the location data. And we don't care about the timestamp. What we're looking for with this location is the server number. So we are on server number 46. This is really important. And how we utilize this is that we objectively observe how are things right now on this server 46. Do I notice any lag? So how do we notice lag? We notice it by doing, like, interacting with stuff. Like, I'm casting spells, I'm jumping, and it's instantaneous. I don't feel any lag at all, right? Like, I'm doing a backflip, I cast a spell, it goes off immediately. I push jump, I jump immediately. I forward tumble, I tumble immediately. Like, if I come over here and I talk to this NPC, does it open right away? It does. Like, so from my perspective, I'm not getting any lag here. We are on server number 46. So what's that important for? Well, what we do is we come over here, and now I have a list. Now, you don't have to do this, but I made this to demonstrate the point. But you could do this, or you could use an Excel spreadsheet or a Word doc, or you could just use a piece of paper that you write down on with a pencil or a pen. But for our purpose, I thought this would be cool to explain what's going on by taking a look at this. So I made a list of all the servers. Now, if you're on Cormier, I believe they added their 75 unique servers that are named Cormier. I might be wrong on that number. It's somewhere around 75. If you go to a live server like Arganessen or Sarlona and you do this, I don't know if there's 75 on the live servers. There may be significantly less. I know that they added more to Cormier to try to combat the lag, but it really doesn't matter. It's just a concept to keep in mind that even though the server has a name and we think of it as one entity, it's actually a collection of a whole bunch. So Cormier is at least 75 unique servers. Like I said, I am on right now, according to the location data, server number 46, and I saw no lag. So how that's useful to me is I come into my list here and then I just make a note, no lag, right? Okay, so I've got no lag on server 46. So now, let's say, hey, I'm going to go quest now. I'm going to go do Death House. Well, what we want to do, and this is true if you're doing hardcore especially, is anytime you enter a new zone, you want to get your location and you want to see what server you're on. Again, we don't care about any of this stuff. All we care about is the server. So we're on server 66 now, right? So if we need to make a note on 66, well, how is it? Well, I'm jumping. I'm not feeling any lag on that jump. There's a spell. There's another spell. About tumble back, jump. I'm not feeling any lag at all. Now, does this mean that I might not run into lag eventually? I might. Like, we don't know. Let me summon a hireling. Is it instantaneous? There was a little bit of lag on that summon, right? Just a little bit. That one looks better. And if we attack these mobs here, what happens? And that played pretty well. So I think I could safely say 66 is a little bit of a question mark because of the way that the hireling summoned. So what I would do is I would mark like maybe good, maybe bad. Because I'm not exactly sure yet. Now, I would learn more as I quest, right? It doesn't really matter in a story mode Slayer Zone. But if I go into this quest here on R1, which I just did, and I try to like make this a little bit smaller. So now I'm in a quest on R1, right? What the first thing I want to do is get my location. And now I'm on server 55, right? So go to server 55 on my list. Get ready to add whatever I'm going to add for it. So now do I feel any lag? I'm going to give like 10 jumps and spell casts and see if I, don't feel any of it immediately, right? I think so far 55 is feeling pretty good. Am I noticing that I'm getting stuck to the floor? Am I noticing that I'm like hanging in the air? I can't say that I am. Like right now everything seems okay, right? So I'm gonna do the rest. That summon came out really quick and good. That summon came out quick and good. That summon, that all looks good. Let's just queue it up as if we're gonna queue and do this quest normal. That all looks great. Okay. And we're constantly in the beginnings while we're questing, right? We are keeping our eyes on like the lag. So I'm on server 55, right now. And do I have to worry about lag? Because what we're going to do is if we encounter it, we're going to mark it down and then we're going to recall and restart the quest and jump to another server. So that's basically the gist of this solution. It's very similar to what people do for Ravenloft Invitation to Dinner, where they cycle cards. So on this part here, I'm not getting any lag, right? Nothing. So everything feels good. So server 55 right now feels good. That was quick. The hirelings came right to me. That all feels really good. That little Misty Step that I just did worked well. So let's see how the first combat goes. So get everything here, because sometimes in DDO, we don't really start getting lag until we initiate combat. So we'll see if we like hang in space or if anything like stalls out or lags. Everything there felt really good. Well, let's see how Darling does on these traps. I mean, that was perfect. Okay, and that's perfect. So to go back to this sheet, I would say 55 seems pretty good. Right? Pretty good for 55, right? And so what I'm going to do is just move this piece of paper, this notepad, out of the way for now. We'll look at it again in a bit, but for right now, we're just going to, because we know 55 is pretty good. So we will, keep at it until we either finish the quest, or if we run across something that makes me feel like I need to leave and re-enter this on a different server. And you can see how it would add up. Like I'm keeping a list of servers. So if I were to enter a quest, if I were to enter a quest in the future on 66, or maybe another one that I got lag on, like let's say number 4 as an example, well, then I would know if I zoned in. Let's say the next quest, Bone Grinder, I zone in and it's a server that I had marked for lag, or I notice lag, right? What I do is I recall and just reset it and look for a server in the list that I know has no lag on it, basically. So I'm not seeing any lag at all. Like, this is playing really, really solid. That was a little bit like, I mean, this is DDO we're talking about, so we can't eliminate 100% of it, but we can greatly reduce our likelihood of being in a bad event, or like a bad lag event, where we get stuck and we can't move for like 15 or 30 seconds. We're rooted to the floor. We've all been in those. We know how shitty they are. This way, what we're doing is we're testing the water before we get into any big fights to see. And I have not felt anything. Everything's looked really good. Everything has felt good from my perspective. So I think we're pretty safe in server 55. Like, I would feel good enough if I could get onto server 55 for all of the quests. I would feel like that's great. Like, this is playing normal, what I would consider normal. And we will try to find an example of a server that's laggy, and, you know, then we can actually, I could show you the specifics of that. But the gist is just, you know, you're doing exactly what we do for Invitation to Dinner. You're testing it out, and if it's at any lag at all, like that feels really bad, you just recall and reset the quest, and when you go back in, you'll be assigned a new server. It's possible that you could be assigned the same server, and you just recall and reset it again. So if this is ahead of the beast, we're recalling. Okay, it's not, it's just a bone naga. I'll show you guys my sword, too. I made a new sword. I'm using a dinosaur sword. So that fight felt really good. So I don't feel like there's any need at all to recall out and reset this server. Everything is pretty normal, instantaneous. Everything feels good. All right, so there was a little bit of lag right there, but that was pretty much it. Now, I'm not sure if it was like from the spell, but it only lasted for a second. So this is DDO. DDO is an old game. We're going to get the lag that lasts for a second. I don't think that's that's enough to feel like I need to abandon this server and come back in on a different one. But if it were longer than that second or two, I certainly would, because on a hardcore character, there's no reason to mess around with, playing on a server where there's a lot of lag. But this is playing fine. Like, this is fine. Just the 1 or 2 second stutters, that's just normal DDO at this point. That's going to happen to you on the live servers as well as Cormier. This is especially important to do if you are playing during like prime time. doing this location hunting on prime time would be super helpful, because it will allow you to, when the servers are super busy, to find a server that is not overloaded. So if you normally play East Coast prime time, which is like 5 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern, then it's super useful to cycle your location server and pick one that has, you know, no lag. Sometimes it's difficult, right? Because the game is, you know, this isn't a feature that the game, like, it displays the location info, but it's not doing that so players can reduce lag. This is a tool that, like, people have been posting location coordinates in Discord for the devs to hunt down, like, specific instances of lag. But this is the reason why it works, because this is exactly how the devs are tracking lag. They want you to, when you experience lag, they want your location info so they can see the server and they can look at the specific, with the timestamp and the location you were in and the server number you were on. They can see exactly what was going on that server, and they can try to figure out what was causing the lag there. We hope that they do, but prior to them doing that, we don't have to play on that laggy server. We can leave, recall out, go back in, and it'll put you on a different server. And like I said, if it puts you back in on the same one, just recall out and do it again. Just recall, go somewhere else, and then go back, and you can get in on a new instance and a new server. You don't, and that's something else to keep in mind. Like, it's not like you would ever, it's not like going to an instance where you could be like, have a teleport fail. Like, anytime you switch around, the game is automatically changing your servers wherever you go. If you do a location, everywhere you go, it's going to be different. It hardly ever puts you from server 55 if you were to go from like the harbor to the marketplace back on server 55. It's just constantly switching you around to different servers. So, and this here looks really good. Like, Darling is going to go pull that lever for us, and then we're going to dismiss her. So she got the lever, we dismiss her, and now we boogie so we can skip that fight. I'll pull all my hirelings with me. We already got our mist. We're going to pull out our extra hireling here. This hireling can self-heal, so it's better for this fight than Darling anyway. And then we're just going to rebuff everybody. And we'll go in and we'll try to get these boots. I've tried to get these boots. Like, I've ransacked multiple characters trying to get these damn boots. I still have not gotten them, but we'll see if we can get them now. There's my Heart Guardian down with my Arcane Storm, and we'll just focus on trying to take everything out. Get rid of the ads first. If you watch my hit points, you can see, like, I'm constantly generating hundreds of hit points on me, just constantly cycling them, and that's because I'm so squishy. Alright, give me the boots. Well, I got the goggles, but I didn't need the goggles. So we'll recall out. And we're going to go back in again so I can show you guys. Oh, maybe we can get lucky. I say lucky. This is unironically insane to say, but maybe we can get lucky and find some lag. And you guys can see in real time that this actually works really well. I feel like we're chasing like hurricanes or tornadoes, like we're lag hunters, right? I think that'd be a good name for a guild, right? Lag hunters. All right, so here we are. We're back in. So where are we? Where are we? And we are on server 63. So again, you want to do this every time you zone in, right? So, what I know right away is that 66 was sort of iffy. So now we're on 63. I'm wondering, you know, is it I don't know, maybe this is going to be fine. Is it going to be 55 fine? I don't know. So we're going to do the normal tests that we do, right? And we're going to jump around. So the spell casts went off right away. Our jumping, there's no lag there. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if it's a general thing that the lower the server numbers are worse. It feels pretty good in here on this one though, so far. See if she's probably not ready for me to get. No, I still have a minute to get her. Oh, Head of the Beast just killed someone at level 21. Oh, the Head of the Beast is killing everyone. In case you guys are wondering. That's too bad. But no joke. The Head of the Beast is no joke. That's what I said. If I get one, I'm gonna recall. Not just recall. I'm gonna use a dimension door and get out, and I'll just reset it. All right, so while we're testing out the number for the server, obviously, like, I'm being very elaborate about this, but once you guys, like, get the gist of it, you can do this really quickly. I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's something you have to spend a lot of time thinking about or stressing about. It's just you check your location when you zone in, you find your server, whether you keep track of it in your head or you write it down or you keep a spreadsheet, whatever makes sense for you. You keep track of which servers are good, which servers are bad. You know, if you're banking and it's taking you an hour to get something in or out of the bank, find out what server that bank instance is in, and then don't question that instance. Make a note of it. Like, you know, try to find an instance on the location that is running reasonably well. Now, this one I'm in now is running pretty well. No complaints about this at the moment. My summons are coming up immediately. Let's see if she finds these. And she goes and gets it. Because sometimes lag appears with the hirelings, like not responding to you when you tell them to do something. The fact that she responded to that request to find that instantly means that she's not getting a lot of lag either. So that's really good. She's going right to the box. Sometimes if it's laggy, they like run around the box. They don't know where it is. They don't know what to do. They don't path right to it. Let's see if she paths to this lock. Yeah, she went right to the lock. So the instance, the server that I'm on right now is playing really normal, I would say. And so, like I said, this was server number 63. So I could make a note on my notepad that 63 is normal or good. Right? Right now, that seems reasonable because I'm not noticing anything strange. Like, I think that's good. So now I've got a note that 63 is pretty decent. I pulled the hirelings to me. They came to me right away. I threw my summons down. She came out right away and started attacking. My jumping is this server is behaving completely normally. And what's really interesting about this method is, like, you'll be watching chat, like whether you're in game, you know, general chat, or whether you're in a guild chat, and people will be saying, oh my god, I can't believe the lag is so bad, I can't move. But if you do what I'm going over in this video, you can avoid the lag because you are avoiding the laggy servers wherever the lag storms are on all the different servers that are named after whatever server you're on, Argoness and Cormier, Sarlona, whatever. So, and that, you know, my jump to those Reapers happened instantaneously. My jump away from those corpses happened instantaneously. Like, this server is playing completely normal, like as it should. Like, you know, is it perfect? No, DDO isn't perfect. There's always going to be a little bit of stuttering here and there, a little bit of snapping here and there, but that's just DDO. The crazy storm shit that will lock you down and you'll end up dying, that's what this method is to avoid. And it works. Some of the best players in the game do this. This is how I learned about it. So, you know, it's definitely like worth adding to your gameplay tactics if you are working hardcore, especially. You can, you know, maximize your likelihood of surviving. And then just in general, like, we all hate lag, right? Like, it's just super annoying, so... All right, these masters, oh god, these guys are so tough. All right, I have 3 casts on my lantern. I'm gonna save it though. And I'm going to try, all right, I'm gonna do it right now. I've got 3 stacks. All right, there we go. So I dispelled the mist. I also need to use like a poison potion because I'm getting stack of a poison dot. Is that poison? What is that? Is it that acid? That's poison, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna drink another poison potion. And I'm gonna use my lantern flare again, just to remove all the debuffs. This thing does a lot of damage, so if you watch my health, I'm like constantly bouncing around. And that poison dot does not go away, even if I drink a neutralized poison potion. I think the only thing to get rid of it is the flaring my lantern. I don't know. It seems like neutralized poison should get rid of it, right? It's super important if you're playing in hardcore and you pull ahead of the beast. Like, you don't want any lag to get out of there. I don't think it's worth fighting ahead of the beast head if you're alone, especially. If you're in a group, maybe, but even then, it spams like a curse on you. You really have to have spell resistance, or not just spell resistance, but spell absorb. You could soak up the curses. But this is all playing really good. I was able to stop before hitting the trap. Let's see if Darling finds his trap and gets it right away. So this is good. So we have not yet found anything with like really bad lag. And there she goes. She went right to the trap. So like that's good. So I think we can safely say that this server is running well. So if you're playing right now and you're on server 63, it's good. We also had luck, remember, on what was that, 55 was good. I'm sure we will eventually find a bad one. But it could be in the list of 75 Cormier servers that at any given time there's only like 2 or 3 bad ones. That's my hope. I'd hope, you know, that the implementations of the fixes that they put in to kind of spread us all out across all the different servers is keeping the lag. But I think that's what happened like the first day when Cormier opened. The game had put everybody onto like server 1 or something like that, and it just couldn't handle having all of those people on the one server, so the server just failed. Okay, she pulled the lever, so now we just boogie out of here and call my companions to me. See if I can get this one with me yet. I can. And then we'll just rebuff everybody since we're gonna fight the boss. We already got our mist, so we don't have to worry about it. There is a chance that some of the undead from that hallway, like, noticed us. They might have noticed one of my hirelings or something. So they might come down that hallway at me. But I don't see any of them, so that probably won't happen, but something to pay attention to if you're doing this alone. So that felt good. Even the on-death flag wasn't bad. You know, like sometimes when you kill the boss, the game will just completely freeze up. We didn't really feel anything. I still have not got the boots. I cannot pull these boots to save my life. So we're gonna turn this in, and we'll go somewhere, and we'll try to find some lag. We'll see what's going on. Let's go to the Isle of Dread. You can see this. It's by doing that warp, it's gonna move me to a different location, right? So now I'm on server 72. So is 72 good? I have no idea. So I put a question mark there. No idea. All right, so now I just do all the basic stuff like that I would do. And this is just, you know, me demonstrating the concept, right? Obviously you don't need to do this every time, right? But you know, the concept is before you like get invested or get into a dangerous situation, you are going to, as soon as you get onto a new server, just bounce around, just see like, can you do stuff? How are your spells casting? Can you swing your sword normally? Can you jump normally? You know, like that. This feels normal to me. Like, this doesn't feel bad at all. So let's see. You know, if I do that fast move, that worked fine. So I would feel good about this. Now I could go over to the bank and try interacting with the bank and see if I got any lag there. And then I would know if I did get lag on the bank, I would know that this server has some lag in it. So if I got a quest on this server, I would be hesitant. But so, because I just changed, now I'm on a different one. So now I'm on server 44. So anytime you change your instance, you want to basically do this, right? You want to check it. So 46 was great, right? 44, we don't know yet. So let's see what happens if we jump around a little bit. I mean, that feels good too. I'm not really feeling any lag. The tumble jump was good. The spell casts were good. Let's see if there's any lag on the summons. No, that was instantaneous. That looked really good. Yeah, that looks good. I can't summon her yet. Alright, so we've got... Because I'm on a hardcore character, this has nothing to do with like the lag guide, but because I'm on a hardcore character, I usually always run around with Death Block on. Death Ward, I mean, so usually I'll either cast Death Ward on myself whenever I zone in somewhere, or I'll have the dude cast it. That's just me, it's just a personal thing. I'm not saying that you need to, but I usually try to. On a hardcore character. If I weren't doing hardcore, I wouldn't care. Hey, look at that! How about that for some good RNG for a change? That's like the best augment out here. And I don't think I had one. A legendary one anyway. So that is super, super cool. We're gonna find a home for that in our gear. So that's great. Like I said, I'm using a dinosaur bone. This is just really quick if you guys wanted to take a look at it. Exceptional charisma. I put an iridescent scale in it that gives me equipment bonus. I have Shadow Fang that puts a curse that puts a dot. It's a Bane dot on the mob. It's really, I think it's the strongest one. And then Ice Horn is super great. It's a CC. I have a chance to lock anything I hit with a spell in ice. It's basically any attack that I do, attacks or offensive spells. I put a cleanse, a tome on this of butterflies. It's random, so that basically made it Featherfall. I'm using Lunar Magic, and I have a Bend Fate Charisma in there because I wanted to get like an extra Charisma number. I'm also getting enchantment DCs from the Bend Fate. It's not optimal, like I would rather have autos in there, but I have not yet found one autos filigree, so... that jump was really good. That jump was really good. See if I pull my hirelings to this crab, if they appear like right next to me immediately. Yeah, I mean, there's very little lag on this server. So I would rate this as good. So if we got a quest in this server, I would feel reasonably confident about it. Like I said, we're always going to get a little bit of lag because DDO has, you know, it's an old game. It's going to get a little bit of lag, but it just all feels really good. Like my attacks are hitting immediately. I'm able to jump around and not really feel like I'm, you know, stuck. The minute you start to feel stuck is when you know you've got some lag, and so we won't spend a lot of time out here. I might as well go and check these couple of chests up here before we leave. I still am hunting black pearls because I'm trying to get my bonus on my ring. I'm using a dinosaur bone ring. And there's one slot that I haven't filled yet that has to do with getting the black pearls. So like I need to get, I think I still need 40 or something black pearls. Yeah, I just fought a mummy and did not get mummy rot. That's got to be a first. We'll see if the T-Rex is here. It is. Great. Okay, so... All right, I want the Bard, and I want the other self-healing one, this one. We're going to get everybody buffed up. And I'm going to let them take all the aggro for this fight, basically. Just gonna... I know I could hotkey this, but you guys know I play with an Xbox controller, so... I haven't made new keybinds in like 12 years. Alright, there's that. So I'm just gonna basically let my hirelings kill this. I'll throw up like my E-Bards, I'll give it my Arcane Tempest. And if it's laggy, you might have to tell, like, the lag sometimes causes them to stop attacking. So, like I said, it's never perfect. Even if it doesn't seem like there's lag that's going to kill you, there's always a little bit because it's just DDO. So every once in a while, they will stop attacking her and come over here, and I have to tell them to go back and attack again. But, I mean, you can see, this is reasonably safe. Like, this is not... I'm not building up a sweat. This is not super sweaty gameplay at all. We're just farming, you know, Black Pearl, so I really don't want it to be super sweaty. You know, it's not like we're doing an extreme challenge. We're in a Slayer zone trying to farm materials, so I want it to be sort of easy. So that's why I kind of like the idea that the minions will do it all. I do have to heal myself because the dinosaur does a bunch of sonic damage. But most of the hirelings are good enough to keep themselves healed, and this dinosaur has a lot of hit points. Oh, I got a miss. So if I pull ahead of the beast right now, we're gonna get out of here. Okay, I didn't. I just pulled a regular. Even in a Slayer zone, I wouldn't want to fight that head of the beast. Not that I couldn't kill it, I just don't feel like messing around. You know, you only get one mistake on a hardcore character and then it's over. So I would rather not make the mistake, you know. Yeah, right. I got lucky. The miss that spawned were super easy. And so now that these minions have so much aggro on Stonejaw, I can probably switch to blasting and help them. I just have to basically remind all the characters to go attack. I don't know why they stopped. Like I said, I think it has something to do with lag, but... got a lot of hit points. Probably. It's not that they couldn't kill it. I have killed the head of the beast. It's just... it does a lot of damage really quick, and it does a curse that prevents you from healing yourself. And it spams the curse. So even with a lot of you can see I have 98 remove curse potions. On my other character, I have died. I fought the head of the beast on an R1 and I died 14 times. This is my normal character, not my hardcore character. And it's because of the curse. You know, the curse just keeps you from being able to heal yourself. So you take a ton of damage, and then all of a sudden, you're cursed again, you're cursed again, you're cursed again. So if you have Spell Absorb, you can probably easily fight one. But I'm not running Spell Absorb on this character. I have Spell Resist, but it's not enough to resist the curse. You actually have to have an Absorb. I could go farm out a cloak with Spell Absorb on it. You know, if I really wanted to, I could go farm for a Nuance Stone. to get spell absorb, but I have just decided it's much safer for me to just do that and go. Right? Like, just do the detour and get the hell out of there. It's not where I can reset the instance and go back in. It's no big deal. I get a heavy crossbow and 4 black pearls. That's pretty good. And so the lag test on this server, I would rate this server as good. So let's do that. When we go down to the beach here, we'll take a second to mark that as good. Just get me in a safe spot before I do it. So yeah, so I would say this is no lag. Good. Right? Okay, so no lag, good. So now I've got 44 has no lag, it's good. 46, no lag is good. 55 was pretty good. 63 was normal / good. 66, maybe good, maybe bad. So if I got onto server 66, I'd probably leave and just try to find another one. 72, I didn't notice any lag, but I put a question mark because I didn't spend enough time on it. Right? And so this is basically how I'm recommending like people survive the lag. It's not a fix per se, but it is an adaptation that will allow you to have a safer gameplay experience in the game where you can actively avoid a laggy server altogether. So you can play a normal game while other people may be having a very laggy game. Now, what would happen if, let's say, everybody saw the video and everyone started playing this way, right? Would it still work? That's up in the air. We don't really know. Like, if everybody started, location swapping to get a no lag server, it could mean that everybody would jump onto the same server and then you'd have lag. So I don't think it's perfect, especially not if a lot of people are doing it, but I mean, let's be honest, not many people in the DDO community watch Twitch. Not many people watch YouTube beyond, like, here and there, right? I mean, a majority of people don't go online at all. They just log in and play. They don't care. They don't ever go to the forums. They just log in and play. So they may never know. I don't think we could ever get, like, over 50% of the population doing this, but I think my point of saying that is I think no matter what, you're always probably going to have a better gameplay experience if you do what I showed here tonight than if you don't do it. If you don't do it, we all know what you're going to get, right? We all know it's a shake and bake, up in the air, who knows? And I have died in lag because I've been on a really bad performing server. I've been rooted to the ground for 30 seconds while the mobs around me were moving. I opened a door and there was a Carnage Reaper there and I couldn't move at all for like 30 seconds. So, I mean, it's like, this will allow us, in theory, to avoid that. Now, is it going to be perfect? Is there a money-back guarantee on this method? No, not at all. This is like all gameplay, right? Like, user beware. Obviously, if you don't feel comfortable in an instance, get out of it. If you don't feel good in a group, this is what I say. Like, somebody was like, oh my God, I ran a group and so-and-so killed me. And I'm like, you can't really say that because you can leave at any time. Like, nobody's forcing you to stay in a group. If you don't feel like you're jiving, just leave. Just recall out and leave. You don't have to follow anybody. You don't have to play in a situation that you don't feel super comfortable in. So this particular server, that felt good to me. We were able to kill Stonejaw. We were able to do everything fine. Got some black pearls. And now let's see where we are here. So we're on 32. Do I have 32 on my list? I don't think so, but we'll check it. And this is why I recommended that you guys make a note of it somewhere, whether you are doing what I did in Notepad, or sorry about that, or whether you have it like in an Excel spreadsheet or a Word document, or if you're writing it down on a napkin, it doesn't really matter. But 32 we haven't been to yet, right? So there's the question mark for it. I don't know yet. I have had some really bad lag in this tavern though. So like it feels like it's playing okay now. Something else to keep in mind, it's 9 o'clock Eastern on a holiday before like one of the biggest holidays in the United States. So I think that the server population is just low in general. Like right now, it's not going to be as busy as it would be on like a normal Friday or Saturday, but I don't have a way to like tell the amount of people that are on a server, but just looking at this list, it seems like we have a good amount of people playing right now, but it's not like it is usually, you know, on the weekend. So let's see how it is when we interact with the bank. Well, that opened right away. Like that was really good. What if I take something out of the bank? Well, that updated immediately, right? So that looks really good. What if I drag a bunch of stuff over to my bank? I mean, that's playing like a normal video game, right? Isn't that fascinating? Like who knew DDO could actually you could bank immediately. Wow. So there you go. Like that's, I would say, based on that, I would say that this server looks good. Probably good, right? Probably good, I would say. Now we could quest and find out that it's not, that it's actually garbage, but as far as like doing banking and stuff, I'm not getting any lag at all. So and I'm actually going so fast. This isn't this is like the basic game. Like if you do that in Lotro, it does the same thing. Like you can't interact with stuff too fast. It's just the way Turbine made it. So that's not lag, that's just the game itself. So unfortunately. But that all looks good. Shining Through doesn't give you the same temporary hit points every time. You know, it should, right? Because Shining Through is just a percentage. It's a number based on 8 times your con. Is your con changing? I never pay attention to what my Shining Through number is. So you can see right now I have plus 76. If I use it, I go to 492. But would that always give me that much? I don't know. There, now I have plus 1,000. Can I get it to 2,000? Yeah, I can get close to 4,000 hit points. So that's good. That's good enough that I could do R4 in this character. Like if people were doing hardcore R4s, I could do it on this character and I wouldn't feel bad. My hold monster DC right now is 89. 89 is not... I need to get it to over 100, right? But it's a lot better than it was. I was doing R1s with it at like 75. So the fact now that it's 89 is really good because I was holding Reapers with it at 75. So it's plenty at 89 to hold monster Reapers in Reaper. That's all we really care about. I mean, it's nice to be able to hold champions too, but we really only care about, I want to stop the Plague Reaper from hitting me, right? I want to stop the Carnage Reaper that's coming at me. So there's that. We have a lot of other means to deal with those Reapers, but Hold Monster works really well since we're an enchanter. And like I said, if you guys look at the build, we're not only running with Embolden, but we have Epic Spell Focus Enchantment. I probably could alter this build and min-max it a little bit more because I also took specialty Necro. I only have one Necro spell, which is my Finger of Death. Technically, in the old days, the Enlightened Spirit Aura, this thing on the ground that's radiating out from me, was considered Necromantic Dragon Breath. even though it's keyed to an evocation. So I used to stack Necro. So the reason I did it is not because I actually should do it. I probably should get rid of it and switch it to evocation. So I should have probably done spell or conjuration, since I'm doing a lot of Evart's Black Tentacles. Probably would have been better for my DC, for my CCs. But we really don't need to, because I'm not pushing R4s. I've only been doing solo R1s, so don't really need to worry about min-maxing. You know, I took Titan's Blood, gave me 10% more hit points. That's really cool. So if I TR'd and redid this build again, yeah, I probably would take either Conjuration or Evocation there. I could also swap my spells around and take another Necro spell. But I've been running with Globe of Invulnerability as opposed to taking Circle of Death. I think it's what normally would go there. So, which that Globe works really well, actually. If you haven't played around with that, it's super cool. You can drop it anywhere. I don't know if I can drop it in the bar here. No, I can't drop in the bar here, but it's just like a globe. It goes on the ground and you can stand in it and you can attack. You can shoot bow and arrows. You can even cast spells out of it and it just keeps stuff from getting into you. Would it protect me from a Head of the Beast curse? I don't know. It might, but I don't want to mess around with it. You know, if this were like a hardcore season where we had extra lives, maybe I would, but like, I just don't, you know, I just don't care. I'm not going to mess around with it. I'm just going to try to stay as safe as I can. I have a haggle hat is what I just did. I clicked on the plus 21 haggle hat and somebody was nice and gave me good hope, and I have heroism to try to get as much money as I can from that. I was using a haggle bard for a while, but I just, once I hit cap and I got my charisma up to 76, like I feel like my haggle is decent enough that I don't really need to worry. Yeah, I mean my haggle is 84, which I mean that's a pretty good haggle. So I've just been selling stuff on this character. And that's the 3-piece from the Isle of Dread. It's a really good caster set, if you're not familiar with it. Spell DCs, imbue die, tactics, and ability scores. As an enlightened spirit, I get imbue. I get spiritual retribution as a light imbue. And that adds, I don't know how many imbue die I have in total. I forget where I look. There it is. So I've got 9. And so that makes the aura do more damage, you know, because I'm doing, every time the aura ticks, the imbue die go off, right? So it makes it so that we get even more damage, which is good. I wouldn't say we do a shit ton of DPS. There are other DPS that are way higher than us. So I wouldn't classify or categorize us as like a pure DPS. We are more of a support specialist, especially me being minion focused enchanter. Like in a group of 6, I bring my enchanting. So I'm a good CC'er between my Evarts, my Hold Monster, my Dancing Ball, my Otto's Irresistible Dance, and then I can throw down, if everybody has freedom of movement, I can throw down Sleet Storms, which is really good at keeping monsters, like slowing them down and blinding them. And then I can throw down the Globe of Vulnerability. Like I bring a lot to a group as far as utility goes. Also, as a warlock, my aura is giving out a bunch of stuff based on my being an enlightened spirit. Like I'm giving off an aura of courage. I'm giving off hit points. Nearby allies are getting my determination bonus to hit points every, however often that ticks off. So like I'm doing a lot just passively, and then I can also throw out, I can off heal. So I can throw out Rejuvenation Cocoon. I can throw out Renewal. In certain fights, I wouldn't, in a group of 6 people, throw down the Heart ally everywhere I went, because that can aggro a lot of stuff to you. And in a group with people, especially if there's like a tank, like an actual tank, they would probably want to control the field of battle, and me throwing down a heart ally would offset. That would just draw too much away from the tank. So I probably wouldn't use the heart ally if I joined a group. I probably would move this off the bar, and probably what I would do is either add Evards there or the irresistible dance or something, or just to make sure that I could do a really quick CC. But for boss fights, yeah, I can throw down the heart, because it will help heal the people in the group with me, as well as doing a little bit of DPS. And so then I can off heal. And also, I'm not super tanky, but with all those extra hit points, 2,000 hit points constantly rolling on me in one form or another, even though my PRR is garbage and my armor class are garbage, I am strong enough that I could be in the middle of things and not worry about getting instantly murderlated. As long as, you know, it's like in an R4, I wouldn't want to be too close to a champ, because you never know if they have the melee, the damage buff, and they can hit you for like 3,000 damage. So while I could potentially survive one of those hits, I wouldn't want to try it out with a hardcore character. If I weren't hardcore, I wouldn't really care about any of that stuff. But playing hardcore, I'm hoping that I can get into some, like, maybe R3 farming for these, for the lantern. But really the lag has been so bad that I've been playing slow, even with the method that we talked about. And so just might as well review that, right? Just to end the video about it. So anytime you zone into a location, we're doing /location. You can actually type in the word location, but we're just doing /LOC. And that's going to give us the server. So we're on server 32. And then we are keeping track of that on our list here. And you can do this however you want. But so we have 32 is probably good. It's been playing okay for us so far. And so then if we decide from here, we're going to go quest. Go out to the zone here. We're going to do it again. And now we're on server 32. So we get to actually try it out. Where we thought it was good. There was no lag in the bank, right? So we're going to further test this out and see. And how do you do that? Well, anytime you zone in, you're going to just jump around, cast a spell, swing your sword, just see if everything feels normal, if you hang in the air or something. Usually lag doesn't hit you immediately though. Like usually you have to quest a little, but this all feels good. We're on the same server that we were in when we were banking and everything was fine. That summon just came off super quick. Telling her to do that went super quick. You know, that fast move went. So, I mean, it doesn't feel like we're having any lag at all. And so I think, based on everything that I've seen between this and the bank, I think server 32, I would feel like I could quest. I probably would stay for server 32. But if there was lag, the strategy is if we encounter lag, right? So let's assume right now, we'll do this rare chest since we're here, but let's assume that this is a super laggy fight. We're just gonna make a hypothetical. So let's say I like hang in the air for 15 seconds and then I get rooted and that guy runs over and almost kills me. Rather than staying and hoping it goes away, we immediately just recall out. So like, yeah, I'm not staying for this lag. I'm getting out of here. And recall out. And this is why, like, we tested a little at the beginning, because we don't want to get too invested in an area before we leave, right? But I would say even if you go all the way to the end, it's not worth doing a boss fight if you have a lot of lag. If you discover it's got laggy, I think it's probably better to leave if you're doing hardcore and go back in. So we're still on server 32. So we need to shake it up. I need to get to a new server because I've been on 32 now for a while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Mythdraenor. Mythdraenor was the Forgotten Realms, right? So this should force me onto a brand new server. So now I'm on server 41. I don't know 41 yet, right? I have no idea. So I put an exclamation point. Just doing that initial jump, I mean, like I said, it's hard to tell like right away, but this all feels reasonably normal. Let's see how the bank goes. Bank opened pretty quick. And that worked normal. So that seems normal to me. So what happens if we go out to the Slayer Zone? Are we going to stay on the same server 41 or will we put on a different server? We'll see. This is just a test, right? So we are on 36 now. Do I have 36 on my list? No, we have not been to 36 yet. So there's another question mark. Now, we thought 41 was mostly good. Mostly okay. Initially. We didn't spend a lot of time on it, right? 36, I have no idea. I don't really want to know about 36, though. The fact that we got put onto 36 is fine, but I was doing Salt Marsh. I recalled because I had lag, you know, we're testing, right? I had lag on the Salt Marsh, so I want to go back. I just wanted to force myself off of that server that I was on. So I'm going back to the Salt Marsh now. Now, hopefully it puts me onto a completely new server. So it put me back on 32. So you know what? And this is the end of where I'll end the guide. I cannot get Salt Marsh off of server 32, and I'm doing a fake lag. I'm imagining that I had lag, so I had to leave. Well, what would that tell me? That would say, right now, it's not a good time to do the Salt Marsh. I would go and do something else. I would pick another. I would go to the Feywild. I'd go to Mythdraenor. I'd go to Isle of Dread. I would not come back onto server 32 because I can't seem to get off of server 32, and server 32 is where I saw the lag, so I don't want to be here. That might be different tomorrow, but as far as today goes, you know, I have it in reality, it's probably good, but we're doing the test saying that we hypothetically got lag, so we left to get off of it. So that's what I would recommend. We leave, we try to get off the server and get away from the lag. And if you can't, if the zone that you're trying to do keeps putting you on the same server and it's the server that you had trouble on, I would just say leave and go do something else. And you can try it again tomorrow. Way better to go do something different. A good example would be like, yeah, let's go to the Feywild right now and see what server it puts us on out there. I guarantee it's not going to be 32, right? 32 seems to be locked to Salt Marsh for some reason. Now, I don't know enough about how the server tech works to know if that's the case, but the location for this one, we're on 52. So let's see if we've got 52 on our list here. We've not quested on. And, you know, it may even be this is something else that you can do, but you could even add the tag for the zone. So we know that's Feywild. We know this is Salt Marsh, right? So, I mean, in reality, it's probably good. But if that was our theoretical, if this was the server that was lagging, like I said, if I got lag and I left, now I'm avoiding server 32. And now I'm on server 52. and I don't know about it yet. So I can mess around with it here, right? This seems pretty good. Or I can just go out and see if it keeps me on 52 or if it moves me on to a different one out in the actual zone where I would have combat, because this is where it really matters, right? Doesn't matter if I'm banking. See, I'm on a completely new one now. I'm on 74. So for 74, this is the Feywild Fey Slayer. I have no idea if it's good or bad. No clue. So we do have a fight right there. So let's see. Rana. See, there was a little lag on Rana's summon. A little bit. My jumping seems okay. My tumble seems okay. Okay, that seemed okay. My spell casts seem okay. So, I mean, I think we're all right. I think we're good to go. Those were good. Let's see how this fight goes. And that's fine. I'm not feeling any lag out here. Yeah, this seems pretty good. So, what did I say? We're on server 74. Yeah, we're on server 74. I mean, as of right now, I would feel okay staying on server 74. But like I said, if anything happens, because what I don't know about the server is if they change dynamically, like if lag all of a sudden starts up like rain on a sunny afternoon, that kind of thing, then I would just leave. I would leave and try to get onto a different server. Like, I'm not going to stay and hope the lag goes away. I'm just going to move. I'll move to wherever there isn't lag. So it's basically like we're going to be like we're surfing, but we're going to do it in reverse. You know how surfers, they're chasing good waves? We don't want to chase the lag waves. We're not lag hunting, right? We're trying to avoid it. So we hunt it to find it, but then we avoid it. But this feels good. This feels normal. So I wouldn't feel bad about questing in here. Yeah, all this is very, very... This is totally normal. You know what would be really nice, and I'm sure I don't know if they actually could do this, but when you do the location, if it would tell you how many players were on this server, that would be really cool, because then you could directly use this info to hunt for a server that has like 2 people on it, right? Like, as long as it lined up with the zone that you wanted to do, because that's something that we just saw. Like, I couldn't get away from server 32 if I wanted to do the salt marsh, and we were doing a test on lag where 32 had a lot of lag. So because I couldn't get away from it and I couldn't get away from the lag, I just left the salt marsh. You guys probably get it, right? So I'm not going to go on over elaborating it, but I think that while it doesn't solve lag, it definitely gives us a tool, like a toolbox to help and to find maybe a little bit of sanity in a game that is, you know, trying to implement a new tech and it's having some hiccups. So until they get it to where the computer is doing it, you know, it's moving us around itself. Like, my idea is like the server program probably can hopefully sort itself out and put us where there aren't any lag storms. But until it's able to do that, and it may never be able to do that, this seems like a good sort of band-aid solution. I thought it would definitely add like a net positive of benefit to the, you know, the community as well, right? Like if you guys benefit from this, definitely let me know. I don't know. I never played RuneScape. They might though. Yeah, they might. Billy, how you doing? Thanks for saying hi. Hope you're having a good evening. If you're in the United States, I hope that you are having a good holiday. It's Thanksgiving Eve here, so everybody is spending the day with family or traveling or cooking or probably even more traveling. A lot of people will travel tomorrow too. I am not traveling. This is playing completely normal. So that wraps up the how to combat lag in DDO video. This is going to wind up on YouTube. If you guys have any questions or if you use this system and it works and it saves you, definitely let me know about it over on YouTube. And or you can even let me know here. If for some reason it doesn't work or you find something with it, that a way to optimize it or min-max it a little bit, or if you know, if I missed something, just definitely let me know. But it's pretty much what I'm doing whenever I decide to quest. Now, I don't pull up the location when I come into a zone like this and I'm going to bank. But I mean, I technically, if I were really invested in like progressing my lantern, I could, because every time I move on to a new server, I want to keep track of like where it's laggy. So 52 I'm on now. Do I have 52 on my list? Let's see. I don't know. I do, 52. So it seems to be, and I have it keyed as Feywild Castle, right? Or what would we call this? Public zone? Maybe I'd just call it the bank, right? Feywild Bank. It's easier to sort of understand. So it's keyed at 52. Well, I'm not getting any lag on the bank. So if for some reason later on I saw a quest have instance 52, that's playing normal. That's really good. Like right there. That's what we wanted to do. We want to drag something out, drag something back, and there's no lag. And like I said, DDO has some built-in slowness to how it does things, but this is totally normal. So I would feel confident about questing on 52. I have no idea, like, if it keeps a zone like this as 52 until they reset the server. So, like, if we log in tomorrow, is there still going to be server 52? I don't know. Like, I'm learning a lot of this stuff as a reaction to trying to survive on a hardcore character through the core mirror, like the changes that they're doing. So like I've only recently started doing this myself, this location hunting, but it worked enough. Like I did, this is the lantern hardcore pet. Like I was able to get my hardcore lantern done. Now I'm working on my, this is the mount. So I literally just started working on it. So I only have like 30 points in it, but whatever helps, you know, keep me alive, whatever works to keep you guys alive. And like I said too, I'm sure I don't have like the end all for strategies to survive it. If anybody has come up with like some sort of a thing that you do to beat the lag, definitely let me know about it on YouTube or in Discord. All right, so we're done with this. I'm sorry. And like I said, I don't think that you guys need to do like a, you know, a text document like I did. A napkin with a pen, Excel, Word, anything. So I'm gonna save this, and then you know what I'll do? Because I'm gonna stream tomorrow. We'll pull this up and we'll take a look at it again, and we'll try to find out how long, like how long, how many days do the servers, do they reset numbers, or is it every Wednesday downtime? You know what I mean? Like, is 32 always going to be the salt marsh until they turn the server off and then turn it on next Wednesday? Or when I log off tonight and then I log in tomorrow, is server 32 going to be something different? Or server 52 going to be something different? We're going to test it out. We're going to test it out tomorrow. I will not upload this video to YouTube before we test that to figure it out. So we have the answer to this question up here. When we upload this video, we'll know the answer to that. That way we can say, you know, you technically, when the servers come up on Wednesday, if you're doing hardcore, you could run around and grab the location for all the major zones that you plan to quest in for that week. You know, let's say you're going to do the sagas, right? You're going to do Vecna, you're going to do Feywild, and you just grab the server numbers and then you can see how they're acting. So then if you hear from people, oh my God, I was just doing Vecna and I lagged like crazy, you know to come to this list, whatever Vecna is, and add the note next to the server number for it, even without going there. If it's true and the servers stay the same, you know, if we log in tomorrow and Saltmarsh is still server 32, I think you'd reliably be able to say that you could track in real time if people are telling you Vecna is lagging and you know that server, you know, like 20 as an example, then you would avoid that server 20. And then if it popped up anywhere else, you know, later on, like next week, let's say they do the refresh and server 20 is now Saltmarsh. Well, last week, server 20 was acting like shit. So you could then be more aware if you're on it this week. Is it still acting like shit? And this is, again, we don't know this. This is a up in the air mystery because we're all figuring this out as we go. And it's sort of a new concept, but it could be that the game, these lag storms are only appearing in on certain servers, specific servers. So it could be the truth that server 20 always sucks, no matter what shows up on it. And that therefore, anytime you see it, you want to leave. You want to recall out and reset. The one downside, if that's the case, right? We don't know. This is hypothetical. Would be if you needed to finish like Vecna, and it keeps showing up on a server that you know is bad, it's always going to be risky to do it. So my hope is that the servers do bounce around, and this is sort of dynamically allocated, not static. But if it did turn out to be static, it would just mean going into it, though, you'd be armed with information, knowing this server sucks. I need to be extra careful. So I think that alone is going to help, because a lot of times what happens with DDO is we quest and we get a lag storm and it just takes us completely by surprise. And all of a sudden I'm rooted to the ground. I can't move. And I came in on R1. I probably should have been in on Epic Elite or something. You know what I mean? So having that information will definitely help. If you're not doing hardcore, do you need to do any of this? No, unless it really annoyed you. Like, unless the lag annoyed you. But anyway, hopefully you learned something. And like I said, definitely if you did, let me know. Post me stories of your luck or your bad luck, or what if you figure something out that we didn't cover. That would be super cool.
for gold that is flowing. Somewhere in the cold world, hid there is no knowing. Hey la, oh la 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 la. We love games. There's a standing stone, let's make camp. We love games, let's make camp and play more games. Hey la, oh la la la. We love games. We love games. Where are you going? There's no knowing what magic awaits, what evil is growing. Hey la, oh la la la. We love games. Love games. Hunting or crypts is folly. Just play games and be jolly. Magical treasures hide in the dark, so rest then embark. We love